Hi everyone, Tuni here from Potential Sonergy. Today we're reviewing the Falconer Pants by Helen's Closet Patterns. I just finished making my first pair of the Falconer Pants yesterday and I am so excited to share my experience with you. Before we get into it, let's talk a little bit about the Falconer Pants. So the Falconer Pants is a relatively new pattern. I'm not sure if it came out this year, 2025, or last year. Anyway, it's quite new. And there are two views. There's the barrel leg view, that's view B. It was a hit a while back. I don't know if it's still trendy today. I went with view A, which is just your typical wide leg pant. And you can make this pattern with medium weight to heavy weight fabric like twill, cotton canvas, or denim. For my first pair, this one, I chose to go with I'm trying to remember the weight. I believe it was 7.5 ounce twill. You need a little bit of interfacing, like medium weight interfacing. I decided to go with sew-in interfacing for the waistband, and that's it. And you need a button, you need a zipper depending on your size. The length of the zipper depends on your size. So my waist measurement is 29 inches and my hip measurement is about 38.5 to 39 inches, give or take. For this pattern, I sized up. So I was supposed to be a size 10 for this pattern, but I chose size 12 overall. And I really like the fit. I like loosey-goosey pants because I do sometimes eat too much and I move around a lot. So I do want my pants to leave some room around me. I don't like really tight pants. I only made one adjustment to the pattern, which is to shorten the legs because I'm short. So the pattern is drafted for someone who is 5 feet 6 inches tall. I am about 5'3". The pattern gives you a guideline on how much you should shorten or lengthen your pattern depending on how tall you are. And I started with that, but at the end, the pants were still too long for me. So I shortened the hems a little bit further. So in total, I shortened the hems by 3 inches. Alright, now let's talk about some of the reasons I love this pattern and would like to recommend this pattern to you. And by you, I mean fellow beginner intermediate sewists who may have made a few pairs of pants or who may not have made any pants but would like to try their first pair of pants. And I think the Falconer Pants is a great pattern for you to start. I think what makes or breaks a pant pattern is how well the instructions are written for the construction of the zipper fly. And Helen's Closet Patterns really nailed this part, in my opinion. Yay! Yeah, so overall, the pattern instructions are well written. They give you tips, they give you encouraging words along the way, and the illustrations are clear. You can see the right side, the wrong side, left, right, things like that. And those things are important when you have a lot of pieces you have to put together. And that's why I would like to recommend this pattern to you. If you're new to sewing pants or you're not quite sure how to construct a zipper fly, this is a great pattern for you. Another reason why I like this pattern is just how straightforward the pieces come together. The pants come with basically patch pockets, but they're attached in this clever way that it's just, the pants look really smooth and elegant, but also functional. If you're new to sewing pants, making pockets can be a little tricky. I don't think it is actually tricky, but if you've never wrapped your head around that, it might be a little overwhelming at first. However, having patch pockets really simplifies things for you. The other reason why I think this pattern is great is because it comes in two views. And you can use different fabrics, and different fabrics will give you different looks, even with the same pattern. So I feel like this one pattern is so versatile that you can make a pair of pants for your like casual wear, or you can make a pair for work. Next, I'm going to talk about some modifications that I made to the construction of these pants. I made some minor adjustments just because certain steps are easier for me to do a certain way, things like that. But overall, if you follow the steps in the pattern instructions, you're gonna be successful in sewing these pants. I'm going to start with the waistband. If you look at the top of my waistband, you will see a little seam there. The way I constructed the waistband was different than the pattern suggests. So basically, I sewed the bottom of the waistband pieces to the pant first, and then I sewed the two short ends of the waistband. And finally, I top stitched the whole waistband. So I forgot to tell you that at first I pressed the top of the waistband pieces 5/8 of an inch down, and I just top stitched the whole thing at the end. It's kind of hard to explain how to do it. I will show you in a different video, but I find that this method is a lot easier for me, so I decided to go this route, and I'm really happy with the result. Next, let's talk about the pockets. Now, I didn't make any changes to the pockets. I just wanted to show you how they look, and I think they look really nice and really clean. So you attach the patch pockets to the side pieces, and then you sew the side pieces to the front piece and the back piece. And I think the top stitching just makes the pants look even more professional. Moving on to the crotch. Now, why am I talking about the crotch seam? It's because I'm really impressed. I really like the details included in the pattern instructions on where to top stitch, which side of the seams to press, and I just think it makes the pants look professional. Like, that's just another thing that makes these pants look so good. Now, the ultimate highlight of this pant pattern is the zipper fly. I had never made a zipper fly where every piece just lined up and like all the seams just came together with no wonkiness. And this was the first one. And it just looks so good on the outside. And it was a relatively stress-free experience as well, which is what I really want to praise this pattern for. Once again, if zipper flies scare you, or if you haven't had the best luck with them, give this pattern a try, seriously. The last thing that I want to mention about my experience with this pattern is the buttonhole. Now, this was not the pattern instructions fault at all, it was my own doing. So I used my automatic buttonhole foot, and I trimmed my seams. I tried my best to make the area even and just like reduce as much bulk as I could. My machine just could not do it. And it was such a nightmare to unpick the little stitches that made the buttonhole. So in the end, I learned that I could make a manual buttonhole to get more control, and that's how I managed to make this buttonhole. It's not perfect, but you know, it does the job, and I also put a tearaway stabilizer underneath. So the moral of this story is next time, use a manual buttonhole foot. Well, that was it. That was my review of the Falconer Pants by Helen's Closet Patterns. This pattern, I think, is a great pattern to learn how to sew pants with. Yeah, so I hope that you give it a try. It is a learning curve, but they walk you through the process step by step. And I have reached out to Helen a couple of times for help and just to share. And she's very kind and very helpful. So you know that you have that support if you need it. All right, I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.